Do you know what time it is? What's up, guys? How are y'all doing tonight? We are back for a live stream. I think this is the first live stream we've done in April. We've been pretty busy, you guys. So we have a couple topics today. We got the dark side of Power Rangers, which I know a lot of you guys want to talk about. We got Power Rangers Prime to talk about. We got Gozyuger. Maybe we'll talk a little bit of Marvel too. We'll see. Yes, we're going to have a couple of giveaways tonight because I need to get rid of stuff. I bought a bunch of stuff for giveaways like 2 years ago, and it's just accumulating. So we'll do some giveaways tonight. We'll do them throughout the stream. So make sure, well, first of all, make sure to like the stream. So wherever you are, like the stream. If you're interested in doing the giveaways, come over to YouTube or Facebook. So when we do the giveaways, you can enter for the giveaway. But I have a guest tonight, guys. And it's one of those things, you know, when the stars align, like it's Halley's Comet sort of situation right now. So it's a international situation today. Everybody, welcome Ash from Deoxy 360, man. How are you doing? You're mute. Let me see if I unmute you. You're still mute.
Well, that's what you're saying. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, no, I muted myself. I didn't know if I would come through during the intro. Yeah, but what's crack-a-lack? And it looks like the stars did align. I actually have days off work. I messaged you saying, "Do you want to stream? Are you busy?" And yeah, you were like, "We'll see," and like you were like, "We'll do it tomorrow." I was like, "Cool."
So I was actually supposed to be a guest on someone else's podcast tonight, and so and they had to reschedule. So I was like, "I have the night free," and I was like, "And Ash is available. Let's do it." Like this never gets to happen. So I decided let's go ahead and stream, and we'll do some giveaways. We'll talk some Power Rangers. We'll talk some dark side of Power Rangers, because I saw your video on that, and I saw, you know, Dan's and everybody else's. Actually, not that many of us did videos on it, surprisingly. So
yeah, that was surprising as well.
I was kind of surprised about that. But I feel like, you know, the comments were all there. Like, you know, when I made a post or something like that, like people wanted to talk about it. So this would be the opportunity. We got Josh in the chat. What's going on, man? We got Jason. I think that's Josh's brother, guessing by the last name there. We got Aries. There was the winner from last time from the giveaway. We got comedian Steven Ortiz. We got Caden I think Caden won also. We got Maddie. What's going on? We got Josh's wife. It's like a family. All of Josh's family are just here. We got Shao Kahn. Bow to him. Hello there. We got Critic Chris, and hey y'all, new here. What's going on, man? How you doing, dude? So I do want to start. So we're going to talk a little bit about Gozyuger first, and we'll talk about Dark Side of Power Rangers in the first, because you've been watching Gozyuger. I've been watching Gozyuger. It's my first Sentai, my first modern Sentai I've watched. Have you watched Sentais before?
Oh, no, I've watched a lot. Like when Shout Factory released those DVDs, like back in the day, like I imported that Zyuranger DVD right away, and that was sort of like, because I saw Go Kaiju clips floating around online back in 2011 and stuff like that. And back then, YouTube was more of a simple place where you could actually watch Sentai on YouTube and stuff like that and see what you like and didn't like. But yeah, I've watched like a fair few Sentai. Like I've seen Zyuranger, which is MMPR season 1. I've seen Daredevil, which is MMPR season 2. Kako Ranger, which was like Ninja Rangers, and a little bit of MMPR season 3. Mega Ranger, Power Rangers in Space. That's a good one. Ginga Man, which is Lost Galaxy.
Okay, so you watched a lot of them.
I watched a bit. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I think I watched up to Kaku Ranger, and that's kind of where I just kind of stopped. Yeah, and it's not because what happened was COVID ended.
That's why I watched a fair bit as well.
Yeah, so like especially with work at one point, it was just like, you know, I was at home all the time sort of thing, and that's kind of how I kind of started YouTube a little bit, because I started watching Toy Hunting during that time, because, you know, everybody was watching. I really wish I would have started during COVID. I feel like I would have done really well, but you know, that's how I kind of, like in 2022 is the one show I eventually started the channel. But you know, that's kind of like my origin story a little bit. But so Gozyuger, man, this is a good question for you, since you watched a lot of the Sentais. How is Gozyuger measuring up to the other Sentais for you?
So Gozyuger is its own little beast, because it's written by what's her name? I gotta bring it up right now on the wiki. But basically it's written by someone Inoue. So Inoue, If you don't know, she is the daughter of someone who wrote Jetman and Don Brothers and stuff like that. So their writing style is always meant to, or her father's writing style is always meant to be a little bit wacky. And there's like, they did Jetman, which Jetman's a beloved series, Don Brothers, a lot of writer series. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where it goes. But like, you can tell that watching like 8 episodes into this, like, she is definitely taking inspiration from how her father does things with story writing and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Is she kind of like, it kind of seems like it felt like the first couple episodes were like filler episodes, and then like now we're kind of like, especially this last episode where Ring Hunter Garudo came in, like
Yeah.
that was like
Mhm.
the tone was completely different than everything that we have gotten before. I think the first episode had the same tone as
Mhm.
episode 8, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So it's
No, that
it's
makes
kind of
sense.
weird for me, and it's
Mhm.
hard for me not to be overly critical of it, because I think even more so Super Sentai is more marketed towards kids than even Power Rangers is.
Oh,
So
yeah, with the toys
there's
and
a
stuff
lot
like
of
that.
like I just want to get through like the silly parts, you know what I mean, and
Mhm.
like get to like, the meat of it, or when
Yeah.
they do tell the story of it,
Mhm.
the Squid Games episode is like threw me off, because it was like there's a bunch of like important exposition in it, but like
Mhm.
they were being like this, it was like the silliest version of Squid Games ever. So it was just like,
Mhm.
I don't know. What I mean, I guess, what do you who are you digging right now? What are you thinking? What's doing your favorite episode so far?
So favorite episode, I'm got the wiki up right now. I think the best episode was for me, like number. I feel like was it number 6? Well, like number 6 was the Squid Games episode. Like that plot twist with Daijujin showing up, Mighty Morphin Red Ranger Megazord.
Yeah,
That caught me off guard, and
yeah.
seeing that suit come back, because that caught me off guard a lot. But yeah, you were saying like the first episodes did feel like filler. The thing is, when you watch a Sentai series, like the first 5 episodes or so, depending on, I think mostly modern Sentai, they'll be setting up each one of the Rangers, so they'll all get their
Mm.
focus episode with how you meet them. I mean, King Oja, 2 years ago, they did that, where each episode focused on each one of the Rangers. But yeah, like Gojuju's been killing it. Like I'm definitely liking it. It's got a lot of. It's going to be very like it looks like it's going to be very story heavy, of course, but you're in for a wild ride with like the person writing this one. I'll just say that much.
What did you think of this?
I loved it. The memes right away. Because
I
the
felt
thing
like
is,
a lot of Sentai purists were very, very happy with that scene also,
mm,
because they were like, okay, well, they just killed Power Rangers. Like, this was them. I mean,
yeah,
I think there was definitely some trolling there. I think so, but
mhm,
it was a good, cool moment. Ring Hunter Garudo here,
mhm,
very interesting looking character. Definitely kind of like our Korag, our Void Knight kind of situation there. Like, they have
mhm,
access to the base power, it seems like, but
yeah.
they're their own thing. He,
uh,
I don't know. I don't know if he has like, when I think of like, I always think of Korag is like the base for me, right? Like, or
Yeah.
because he was like the whole honor thing. Like, everything had to
Mhm,
be done with honor. Even a little bit of what was Wolf Ranger before he turned Zenaku. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit of that from him, but it's still like very, very devious. I'm really digging the character. I don't have a picture of it, but the only thing I really don't dig is like the dude is wearing so much makeup. Like, when like his whole reveal, like he has like a whole different color face, like then
Mm.
you can tell like what his actual skin tone is. But like he just it's a lot of makeup, and I'm just that was a little bit distracting for me. But I think for me, like, oh, I forgot to upload it, but the Tega sword. There's a picture of the Tega sword here in the back. Like, I like the gimmick of like putting the armors on the Tega sword. I
Mhm.
just wish they all had their own Tega sword, like them all sharing the Tega sword. I don't know if I like that. I don't know. What do you think?
I haven't got my Sword yet, sad face. Still delayed. Because I got the big bundle, so but I
Okay,
don't
yeah.
know what's going on Tokyo Collectibles in that one. They're like, "Oh, you can change your offer," but, I was like, "No, I just want the one that I wanted with all the rings." But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a different concept than, like, all the mechs coming together, like, each one of them can
Mhm.
use it. It does make a lot more things going on. Like you can have the ground fights, and then you can have the mech fights.
That's a good point.
And the mech fights we're getting for Gozyuger have been really good. They're not doing CGI mechs; they're doing actual
In suit.
physical acting mechs, which
Yeah.
is good. Because we've had a few CGI mechs from the past couple of seasons of Sentai's, and it does take you out of it a little bit. But Garudo, the vibes I'm getting with Garudo, like I don't know if you watched Ranger, did you, with Barai?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So his fighting style reminded me a lot about Barai, especially that scene where he puts the cape over someone and just starts elbowing him. Like I got a lot of those vibes
Okay.
with that fight scene.
I thought it was so. I really like when they brought in Daijujin and did the actual
Mhm.
fight. I don't know if you remember, but they did the the Tegasword was flying at the monster,
Mhm.
and then
Oh, yeah.
the tank, the Daijujin and tank mode was.
Tank
I
mode,
thought
yeah.
that was a really cool way to use tank mode that I hadn't seen before. I don't know if
Mhm.
it's been used in. Well, I'm not sure what that was. Okay, I guess we got a troll in
That
here.
yeah.
But them using the tank mode as like a miss out almost like that was pretty cool. I don't have they used that before. Like that seemed like kind of new to me.
No, not in Ranger back then, because like the tank mode was like used for that one transformation scene that they did over and over again. The Boom Studio comics used tank mode a fair bit, but yeah, like I think it's been a while since they've actually used tank mode like that with Daijujin, because they were so limited with what they could do with like Sentai and special effects and props and
Okay,
stuff like that from back
yeah,
in the day.
true. Well, I was more thinking like if it had shown up like in Go Kaiser or any
Not
of
that I
the.
remember. Not that I
Okay.
remember.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I
Possibly do
watched
it.
most of Ranger, and I mean, what they use tank mode in the individual Zords way more than they did in Power Rangers, but
Mhm.
um, I just hadn't seen it used. I thought that was really cool. I thought and I liked the CGI of it. I thought all of it looked really good. So
Mm.
we got our first female Black Ranger with
Mhm.
is it Sumino? Is that her name?
Sumino.
Sumino. Maya Matsumori. Brand new. Actually, I kind of think this may be the best Black Ranger suit next to King Ranger. I would say this
Ooh.
is number 2 to King Ranger as far as Black Ranger suits. It's a pretty good suit. I mean, it's
That I was gonna say that's a heavy topic with Black Ranger suits, with like including all the Sentai. But yeah, it is a good suit. Like it is a good suit. The character's a lot of fun. I will say that.
yeah. I mean, I think the only character that kind of I'm trying to think which one. I think Blue kind of annoys me. It's funny because I really think the Blue Ranger suit and the mecha look really cool,
Mm.
but I think it's because the whole K-pop thing, and I don't think I'm connecting with that. I actually really dig Goju Eagle. Um, that
Oh, he's a
not
lot
only
of
the
fun.
act, but the character and the actor. I feel like that actor it makes me believe that he is actually like 80 years old. Like I think he's doing a wonderful job. Like even the way like he
Mm.
stands and he talks and everything like that. I'm like,
Mhm.
I believe him. Like I believe him. So what some of the best acting I've ever seen in Sentai Power Rangers combined from anyone because I truly believe this dude is 80 years old in real life. But which character are you kind of digging right now?
The Yellow Ranger, Byakuya,
Really? He
the
hasn't done
trainer,
much
like
yet. Yeah.
he threw a rock in a car. He's a lot of fun.
I'll stop. What is it?
Mm.
Stop doing your garden with the Tega sword. You got all
Yeah.
mad. That was funny, man. All right, guys. So real quick, since we got one, how many likes are we at? That's a good question. Let me see how many likes are we at. Maybe we'll do a giveaway. All right, we'll just start the giveaway. So let me put it in real quick. What am I gonna put in? We'll do peak. We'll do that. So do hashtag pink in the comments, guys, and we will be giving away this guy, or I guess Kimberly right here. So if you're interested, if you're watching on Instagram, which I don't know how many people are on Instagram, and you want to enter, make sure to come over to YouTube or Facebook because StreamYard won't pull your comments. So just put hashtag pink in the comments and we'll pull it in. We'll give it 5 minutes. So it's 8:48. So we'll give it to 9:52. In that time, you did watch Daredevil, right? You said you watched Daredevil?
Oh, yeah, I watched the last 2 episodes last night.
What'd you think of the season?
Amazing. It's like the
Yeah.
show never left. Like, I know, like, it started 10 years ago, and then it went away for, like, 8 years. like when episode 1 first came back, it's like the show never left in a way, in a crazy way. It's like the show never left.
And I don't think they've answered definitively, but they've done it a million times where they like referred to things that happened in the first 3 seasons. So it really seems like it's a direct continuation of everything that happened in season 1 through 3. Before Born Again, which one was your favorite season?
Before Born Again, season 2 with the Punisher.
Oh man, I was all about season 3. Like I don't know what about that season. I just think it was kind of like back to basics a lot
I
for
need to
him.
go back and rewatch season 3. I think it's been a while, but I remember like season 2 when that aired. I was watching that.
That was big though when season 2, because we all knew season 2 was setting up Defenders. So, and I remember thinking that was really big. And then obviously we got Punisher, which was a big deal. I forgot how like unhinged this Punisher was. I mean, because it's been that long, but like he's not the Thomas Jane, he's not the Ray Stevenson. Like this dude is insane. And I forgot that about John Bernthal's Punisher, but I thought it was pretty good. Was it?
No, I was gonna say he kills it as the Punisher.
He's good. I'm glad he's back. You know, he is doing he's gonna do the special presentation that they're gonna have, which is like, you know, his special episode that is coming out later on. I think they said 2026. He wrote it, or he at least helped write it.
Oh,
so,
that's cool.
Yeah, I think he made a comment at South by Southwest that was like, this is not gonna be Punisher light. Like this is going to be Punisher like going all out. So like don't expect like just a little bit of blood here and there. Like he was like, this is gonna be a full on dark Punisher. When they say there's Punisher's gonna get dark, like that concerns me. And I'm like how much more darker can you get? So someone was hard with Power Ranger because I was a little boy before my life is done was Power Ranger Mighty Morphin first time see. Okay, cool, man. Thanks for being here. Did anyone pre-order either Daredevil or Punisher figures? Did you get any of the figures? I saw the Punisher this morning.
So I pre-ordered the Daredevil Born Again figure on Angel Grove Collectibles, along with like the Tobey Maguire black suit Spider-Man. If they put that up for pre-order, I'll definitely get the Punisher because that looked really nice from what I saw with the pictures.
So I like that they did the black suit Spider-Man 3, but it's like I really still hate that suit. And like I think it's cool they're acknowledging it, but at the same time, it's like back then, even then, I wanted the real, like, you know, the Venom suit, you know, like
the symbiote. Absolutely.
And we got just, you know, his regular suit in black, and I always thought like we felt cheated at it. But I'm glad that they're doing a Marvel Legend of it. I'm curious at how well it's gonna sell, because I feel, I mean, I guess for a whole generation of kids, like that's their black suit Spider-Man. You know what I mean? But for me, like I'm Spider-Man animated series. Growing up, so that's my the traditional black suit Spider-Man is my black suit Spider-Man. But yeah, I mean, going back to Daredevil a little bit, I remember when they first announced it was coming back, it was supposed to be 18 episodes.
Oh yeah.
And then now the first season was supposed to be 18 episodes, but you know they stopped at episode 9. So I'm like, you know, it really seems like kind of like the halfway point, even though you know it's going to be full on season 2 that we're getting. Did you see the Black Sea, the Daredevil, the leaks and all that?
I've seen a little bit of the leaks. I've seen the picture of him on the beach in the black suit. Is that the one?
There's one. Yeah, there's one like 4K one.
I haven't seen the 4K one, but
yeah. Oh man, I think I just posted one on my Facebook. If you go and look real quick, but it looks good. Like he spray paints the suit. You can tell it's spray painted, but it has the double D's on it. It looks good. I mean, I know it's just everybody's like it's just the suit painted black, but I'm like, but it looks good. Like, I mean, like you can't take that away. So we got hello, bro. What's going on? Last episode was fun. It was really good. And it was very much a setup for season 2. Like it was very much, but like it dude. And when he said he needed an army, I was like, bro, right? Like I feel like everybody just said that.
You have to have the Defenders in there because most of them operate in New York City. Like Jessica Jones, her her PI investigations in Hell's Kitchen. Luke Cage, if they ever do something with that actor and they bring him back, they can do the storyline in the comics. Or I think what's still going on in the comics where Luke Cage is the mayor of New York City. So they could do that.
That'd be interesting. Well, I was gonna say it was Netflix. He was talking a lot of crap about Netflix. He wasn't talking crap about Marvel. He was. I remember when they canceled it. He was really mad at Netflix about it. But
Yeah.
I'm curious. I don't know. He was very vocal, so I'm curious if they would bring him back. All right, guys, we're going to do the quick giveaway for the Pink Ranger. Looks like only 7 people entered. Well, good luck to all you guys. We'll draw, and the winner, man, basically whoever wanted it is probably going to get it. But our winner is for the Pink Ranger, Jason Oderby. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Send me your details on Instagram, or you can email me at thelegacyofnerd@gmail.com. But or I guess the email's on the website too, thelegacyofnerd.com as well. But all right, so the next topic we're gonna talk about is the Power Rangers Prime. Okay.
Hell yes.
So we got Power Rangers Prime here. This is a
Mhm.
variant cover of issue 1. Now we talked about this, I think, like after issue 3.
Issue 2 or 3, yeah.
I think it was issue 3, and I was not liking it. I was not.
No, I
liking
remember.
it.
Like,
It's gotten better. I want to say we got the suits. We finally got the suits. It's
mhm.
we're in it now. Where are you? What are you thinking about where we are so far? Or what do you think where it's going?
I'm loving it. Like, there's so much that Melissa is teasing in this run with the lore and stuff like that. Having like the Rangers not work together, like they're not a unison team. Like that first fight they get into, it did not end well for them. And I was expecting all of them to go down, or they'd have to escape or something like that, because the VR troopers just came in and they were way out of their league with how much the VR troopers are trained compared
Right.
to the Rangers.
Right.
And even Rita points it out, saying there's 2 teams there, there's 2 groups out there, only one of them's working as a team.
Right.
But not only that, that scene where like Lauren and Rita are talking into that room, and you've got all the weapons behind them, which raises more questions like, ooh, how did all this stuff get there?
Like, where are we at, and if there's a timeline, what is this
Yeah.
timeline sort of thing? Yeah, I
I
mean,
feel like it is a new universe. We just got to figure out like, how did this stuff get to this universe? Because I think the Rita we're meeting, or we're following, is the Rita from the end of the
right.
original run.
So the question is this a different universe or a different timeline? Like that,
I
I
think
think
it's a
that is
different
the
universe.
question. Like, are we back to the future rules here, or are we alternate universe rules? Like, what is, like, did Biff go back and give himself the almanac kind of situation here, or like that's what I kind of want to know, and that I think that brings up a good point with how you said like they saw a bunch of the artifacts in the background in the lab, stuff like that, because we didn't see a morpher, but we saw part of Billy's power coin, the Triceratops power coin. So, but then again, the power coins are thousands of years old, and it's kind of like, well, it was already supposed to be there. But I think there was a Dino Thunder. Was it the Brachio staff?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there was
There was
Time Force. There was a Time Force and
a Dragon Dagger in the background
a
as
Dragon
well.
Dagger, which again that had been around for 1,000 years. But then there was also the Quasar Sabers, which those are thousands of years old. So those sort of all make sense why they could be there. But I think the Time Force one kind of like, why is that there for me? I think that was Time Force, even Brachio staff, right? Because those are
Later
technically
weapons.
powers that Tommy created. So like that, I think that's where I'm kind of getting like, where are we at now? This dude's gonna turn on them. What do you think?
I think John's not going to turn on them. I feel like John is one of those, like, I know this scene does make him look menacing, but John did have that line with Valentina where it's saying he wants to fight for the people, which shows that he wants to fight for like both sides. He wants to fight for Eltarian and Earth people, but like the Eltarians are really corrupted. I think he wants to sort of like have like some sort of peace between the two of them. So he wants to sort of be like that, not that justice for the universe, but he sort of wants to be that guy that sort of like, he wants to fight for both sides, but he wants to make sure he's on the right side, because the Eltarians are kind of dirty, because he's a like rebellion against like Eltarian roots, like not shaving his head and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I feel like John won't turn on them, but I could be wrong.
where is this suit? We got so much art of this. What's going on with that?
I don't know. I feel like it's the biggest but the best fake out ever, by having this brand new power up that like Melissa and Boom got everyone to commission, because we haven't seen any artwork for it or any covers on for it since the new suits showed up. So I feel like it was a big fake out that we got for Power Rangers Prime to make you think this will be like the new suit.
Yeah, I mean, it's It looks good. I
Hmm.
wish they kind of wouldn't avoid it. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm wondering if she's going to get her base power back, which is possible.
Yeah.
But it looks good. I mean, they did a
Oh
lot. They
yeah.
did a lot of art of it. I don't know if I have. Let me see if I have another one. I don't think I do. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just put it for that one because we haven't seen it. Now we have. Now before I get to my VR Trooper question, what
Hmm.
do you think our Six Ranger color is going to be?
Six. I think it's going to be green because
Okay.
these are based on MMPR.
Okay.
Where MMPR is inspired.
How do you think they're getting their Zords? Because that looks very, very Dino Charge ish.
Yeah, it looks a bit of everything. Dino Charge, Dino
Dino
Thunder,
Thunder. Yeah, I can see that.
MMPR. Um, Maybe they'll get built. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to
It
see how
looks
they
like
like.
some sort of lab that they're in right there.
Yeah, with
I
the
wonder if it's
goggles
gonna
and
be
stuff like
like
that.
Q was it Q Kyryuger? I don't know. The Dino Charge Sentai, where like
Kyoto.
the little guy will chase him around and then turns big later on.
That could be.
It looks a little cute.
Uh,
That's what I'm saying. It kind of
yeah,
has that
yeah.
cute little look to it.
No, that makes sense. I don't know. Let's
Now,
see how they build them. We'll get them.
what do you think is gonna go on with VR Troopers? And what about this new series? Is it gonna be in universe or is it gonna be a VR Troopers original
Yeah, I
story?
think I think they've said it's in universe. It's in the power. It's based in the
Ah,
Power Rangers Prime universe.
okay. That's one thing I didn't want.
Mm,
I want a more original VR Troopers story because we haven't
mm,
gotten one. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, it makes sense. You know, they have the storyline that they're building, but
mm.
I mean, what do you have any predictions what it's going to be about?
I think it's probably going to be sort of like the prequel to like how the VR troopers got their
Oh,
powers in the Prime universe.
okay, okay. Well, I feel like we might some actors from Zombies 4, Stranger Things, and Percy Jackson to be cast for the new PR reboot. What do you think, Daniel? I think I think they're going to go cheap and probably get unknown actors. But this time, I think they will go more actors than they go stunt or
Hmm.
influencer. Because I feel like Dino Fury was very. They got a lot of people that were good or had high counts on Instagram and stuff like that. So, um, all right. You know what? We're gonna end with Dark Side Power Rangers, but I'm gonna enter a new one because I don't know if you saw, but the Legend of the White Dragon stuff
Oh
leaked,
yeah, I saw the leaks.
and I know you're such a big fan of Bat in the Sun, and
Oh,
but I do know you do want to see this
uh,
movie. I do know
oh
you
no, I
do
want
want to see
no,
it.
I do
Yeah.
want to see it. I do want to see it.
So I don't. Did you get to actually see the footage?
Yeah, I saw the footage.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
So I'm not playing the footage for those of you guys wondering in the chat because
yeah.
I don't want to get in trouble with anybody or YouTube at the also as well. But we have images, and I have to say, man, like the footage looks good. I know it's a couple of years old, but I mean, I was talking about in my video today that, they start off with this scene right here. And I feel like,
Mhm.
when they were making the sizzle reel, like this scene is very much like we're Power Rangers inspired, but we're gonna take it way further. You know what I mean? So
No, I
like
get that.
that is cool. Like I'm digging he has a little bit of teleportation, kind of Miles Morales thing. We're
Mhm.
doing the Iron Man helmet. He's doing like the possessed, corrupted version of himself. Because what do you think about the footage overall?
Okay. So the footage, the fight scenes, fight choreography
Mm-hmm.
is decent. It's decent for what it is. The special effects and stuff like that, those probably need a lot of polish.
Well, this
Um,
was sizzle reel
yeah,
special
yeah,
effects.
from
Yeah. So this,
2021 or 2022.
yeah.
But there are some other things that probably need some tweaking. Like I think Aaron needs to probably redub his lines because that was some that's not me ripping on Aaron, that in a malicious way. There's like that was some like forced forced voice acting, I would say that.
Mm-hmm.
Really corny in my opinion. Like maybe that needs some work on or some redubs. I don't know. But yeah, that wasn't digging that part. But
I mean,
yeah.
honestly, what I saw, I liked a lot. Like, we got a really good look at the suit. The green
Mhm,
battle suit. I don't know what they're calling it, but you know, I think this little kid makes a comment like, "Take off that dumb helmet."
mm,
Like, but Mark Dacascos was in it. He had a cool little, I guess, very very small fight scene in it. But
mm,
we saw JDF keep up with him, which I thought was really cool. We got a Jenna cameo, Jenna Frank cameo. She does
mhm.
her whole little kind of scary, spooky version of herself, which I thought was really interesting because all these scenes were just like, you know, little scenes out of like a bigger movie. So where there was no context, there was no, you know, setup to the scene. It was just like this is what we're showing you. But I think the only one that was kind of thought out a little bit was like the beginning scene, because or at least placement, where, you know, because this is like, you know, we're darker, you know, we're taking this way further. But I mean, I thought it looked really good. I didn't mean the lines. I didn't really think it sounded like a guy that was like really mad. So I don't know if you felt like, I don't know how you felt as far as the ADR, but I know they redid all the ADR. So, you know, this is really early stuff. So, you know, just the fire and effects here. Again, like all that stuff I think is gonna get touched up, like you said. This is very early concept. Like this, I think this was shown to fans just to keep the hype up in 2022. This was what Jason presented. So this is what he presented himself. But I thought the fight scenes were really good, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, I know you said they were just decent, but like this was pretty dope. Like, you went Guyver on them, and then they had like really Power Rangers like, you know, fight style, but it was very, you know, very beat down at the same time. But it just seems like they kind of took it a little further. But I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. So that, I mean, I know we kind of differ, and I know you're a little bit more critical, but I thought it was pretty good, man. Like, you know, for a time that we don't have anything, it was kind of fun to watch, to have something to watch.
Yeah. Well, it's good to show that there is actual footage of this out there, that something was worked on.
Yeah, I mean, and we talk, and I'm sure, like, you know, I'll get comments on this later on, but what he's saying is that it's still in color correction. I think it's almost done with color correction, if I'm correct.
Yeah, yeah. I think
And
he said
then
that.
he said once it's color corrected, is distributors, and then release date, and then they can set the release date, because that's up to the distributors. So I know he wants it for 2025. He told me this like a year or two ago. He said he was really nervous that like when it gets picked up by a distributor, that they hold on to it and like will release it like later than they intended, you know. So I think that's kind of probably stressing, you know, everyone on that team out about that. But they have to like figure out, they can't get it out on their own. They have to have somebody. So I really do think we'll probably see it. I wouldn't be surprised to see it on Netflix. I think it could very much end up on Netflix. Maybe Paramount. I know Aaron's like kind of said that a lot. Like, he's used that as example, but I could see Netflix. Netflix needs a lot of content. They don't have Disney. They don't have Warner Brothers anymore. They don't have any of that stuff.
No.
And they need that exclusive.
I feel like it could go to Amazon.
It could go to
Amazon does have a lot of I've seen a lot of indie horror stuff on Amazon.
Yeah.
When scrolling through late at night.
It could. Especially with what's question is, if would Amazon buy it or Amazon MGM? Because there's kind of like two different versions of their Amazon. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm really, because Amazon MGM is the one that's making Voltron, and it's the one that's making or that owns James Bond now. So like, there's just like Amazon Prime, and then there's MGM. MGM, I guess technically MGM is the one actually making the stuff. So maybe it wouldn't be MGM. But all right. So that happened today. And so now the long topic, the super long topic.
Oh yeah,
is the
heavy hitter.
Dark side of Power Rangers. Maybe we should do a giveaway before then. Let me see. Where are we at? We are at. I'd never stream on Thursday nights, and I feel like everyone's streaming right now. Like, I feel kind of bad about it. Let's see. Live. Oh, we got 18 likes. Okay, so how about we'll do this? We'll do this one. Help me make room in my house. I think people want this one. I think people would like this one. And this is White Ranger. This is the Walmart exclusive that showed up briefly at Ross and on eBay, and they sell out very quickly. So if you want the White Ranger guy, put in hashtag JDF. So I think I actually tried to give this away before, and then the guy never messaged me to claim it. So it comes with the Saba, and I don't think these come with the Power Coin. The White Ranger didn't come with the Power Coin. Oh, it does come with the Power Coin.
Okay.
It comes with the Power Coin right there. So if you we got Caden Mara always like, I want that. But yeah, Actually, got a couple of these. So I don't think I'm going to do booths this year anywhere. And I'm only doing like I think 4 cons this year. So, are you guys have a con that you guys do over there?
Oh yeah, we've got like we had Oz Comic Con in Perth, but I did not go to that because the guest lineup wasn't the best, and I didn't want to pay $40 to walk around a dealer's hall and maybe not buy something at the end of the day. So I'm waiting for Supernova. That's one that I've been going to since like 2008 at least. It's for a while.
Okay.
So I'll probably go to that because that one they will have like actors, anime voice actors, artists, and stuff like that. It's the con that I met like mostly Rangers at before. Like I met JDF at that con. I met ASJ at that con and Walter and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Johnny, yeah.
Okay, so I guess I can make the announcement here because I'm probably gonna buy my tickets after, or not my tickets, my room. But I will be going to Ranger Stop Atlanta for their last show. So that is I've been able to work it out financially and with work, and so I will be flying in. I think it's June 13th. I'll fly in that afternoon, and then I'll leave Sunday afternoon. So I'll fly in, fly out, basically. But I will be coming to Ranger Stop. So if anyone's going to Ranger Stop, come find me. I will be just hanging out. I don't think I'm like gonna do the whole, how do you say? I might do like, I might try to get an interview or two, but like, I kind of just want to go. Like, I just want to go have fun. So, I think it's gonna be more of me just enjoying myself. I've never been to like a super big one. Like we did More Phenomenal here. And although that's it's a really good con, it's not like that size that Ranger Stop's supposed to have like 40 people or something like that this year, and I've never been to like a Morphicon or anything like that. So
same.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fun though. But I did a poll on my Instagram not too long ago that said like if I go, what do you guys think? Like, should I go? And I got like, I want to say I got about like 600 responses, like saying like come hang. Like I put one of the choices like come so we can go hang out. I got like 600 responses, and like 400 of them were like I'm gonna be there, and I was like, damn, dude, like that's a lot of people. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that's just on my Instagram because I don't have like a super big account. I mean, I have a respectable account, but like, it's like, dang. So, I would love to. Well, make sure to enter roommates. Oh man, I need to figure that out too. Matthew Becker says, "I'll see you." Yes, I've seen Matthew Becker quite a bit. He came down for SpaceCon. I saw him at NostalgiaCon in Houston too. So I've seen him quite a bit. Over 50 guests, and the kid told me they got the biggest room available this year.
Oh,
I don't even know. I don't know what that means. I just know 50 guests. Like, how big do these rooms get? That's insane. I loved Power Morphin. I know you did. It was my first time for Power Morphin. It was amazing to see and meet so many from Power Rangers. Yeah, it's gonna. I feel like I'm gonna be overwhelmed. So like, that's.
I think that would happen with me because like Power Morphicons where all the YouTubers get together, they drink and hang out, and then maybe see Rangers they want to see, and that's probably what I'll be there for. I won't be on YouTube business. It'll be like I'll walk around or maybe line up for a few interviews, maybe get interviews with people who know me through Power Rangers, like Campbell Cooley and stuff like that, who I've known since Beast Morphers. And we'll see what happens. Like, I'd probably go to the drink and hang out, to be honest.
Damn. 8,000 square feet. Yeah, that's a pretty big. NostalgiaCon was like 80, so kind of okay. I can kind of get a side of that. Which era of Power Rangers was the best? Mighty Morphin. Being realistic, it changed the world for it. So, Kat and Nakia will be in my state in June. They travel a lot. They do a lot of shows. That's cool, man. Though. But yeah, so Ranger Stop is the plan. That's I'll probably once we sign up to, I'll probably get the hotel rooms and yeah. Oh yeah, and I'm going to San Diego. So I guess I could say this. I got invited to San Diego Comic-Con as press.
Oh yeah, I remember mentioning that.
That's happening. I bought the rooms or the room a couple days ago, which was stressful as hell, but I got a room. I will be there. I'll be there with a special guest that they'll be announcing. That person will be announcing soon. It's not like a Ranger; it's another YouTuber, but I'll be going with somebody else as help. because that's massive. So Kat will be there. A lot of you guys know Milady Kat, who is our producer on the show. So she will be there as well. So we'll have 3 team members from the Legacy of Nerd at San Diego Comic Con. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I have no idea how it's gonna work, so I'm figuring everything out as I go. Apparently, I have to apply to get into panels, just to get into like to stand in there, and then yeah. But apparently, like it's like I've seen other people that said they got denied, and yeah, it's a cool honor for sure. So was happy about that. But I'm sure you guys don't care about that, and you guys just want the JDF White Ranger figure. So we'll do that real quick. But yeah, just kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing this summer. I haven't decided. I might do SpaceCon again. I did apply for press again, so we'll see how. I was really surprised I actually got press with SpaceCon. So it's one of those things that was kind of cool. But all right, we got 12 entries for this one, which is pretty good because we got 22 people in here. Wanda with the super sticker, thank you so much. I appreciate you. So we'll go ahead and pick the winner in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the winner is of this guy. And thank you for making room in my office because I need to make more room for other stuff. Caden Morrow, man. He won recently too. So guys, like if you're just here, you're here often, you're more than likely gonna win multiple times. Caden Morrow is a multiple time winner. Josh is a multiple time winner. Sadly, I think Maddie, Mid Tennessee Geek, has never won, and he's been here since almost the beginning. Dion King has been here since I had like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I don't think I need to send you a sticker. Send me a message, Dion, and I'll send you a sticker, man. I feel bad now. You need a sticker. Maddie, you've gotten stickers, so you're okay. All right, so let me get this stuff off the screen, and we'll start Dark Side of Power. We'll start kind of in the order that they presented.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's the easiest way to do it. So the first big story they really talked about was Audrey Dubois and Audrey's experience on Power Rangers, which we had always heard that she left Power Rangers because of money.
Yeah.
Which essentially at the basic root of it, yes, it was because of money, but it was because she couldn't, it was enough money to try to just live in LA. So she was living in Arizona and she was commuting every time she had to go. So she's saying, if you're hiring me, that's awesome. Can you pay me enough like to get to move is what she needed, is what she's saying she needed. So she also had the story about the putty having
oh, that was insane.
A heat stroke. It sounds like a heat stroke. And the story about they offered $100 to take off the suit, which is crazy. But it was early 90s and $100 probably more like $300 or $400. So I guess what did you think about Audrey Dubois' story and sort of does it change anything for you for her?
It's good to hear it from her perspective because we've always heard it through like secondhand sources, like through, I don't know, Linkara, whenever that was first brought up, or you've heard Austin and Walter tell it for the 50th time, or a YouTube documentary tell it for the 50th time. It's good to hear it actually from her because I don't know if she's told the story at cons, where you can tell with how the documentary set up, it was very personal with how she told it. Because it's always been about, and it's always seemed like that, like they fired her day one. She asked for more money and they were like, no, we're getting rid of you. Bye. But yeah, hearing that she needed enough money to commit to get to work from Arizona to like LA, and because they couldn't make that commitment, then yeah, they got rid of her because like, well, we need someone closer or someone. Yeah.
I mean, the way that I was seeing it was like she just wanted money to move. That's the way. That's the way I heard it. Like she wasn't asking for like a wage increase. I think she was asking for like almost like a stipend, like help me get over there.
Yeah,
at least that's the way I kind of heard it. Maybe I'm incorrect on that, but what do you think about the heat stroke thing? Like that's insane to me.
That was insane as well, because when they were leading up to saying like, is someone, they started stripping them down and someone said, I'll pay you $100 to get in there, get in that suit and fill that spots. But and then it was like Leonard and someone like, I'm talking too fast, sorry. And then it led into it by saying, and then someone actually did it. That blew my mind that someone actually did it. But then, like you said, $100 back then was like $400, $300 probably.
Not only that, but this was like a non-union thing. So that means they're getting paid really, really low. Right. So this is more likely people that like were trying to get enough money to eat the next day.
Mhm.
So I get it, but it's crazy. I think it's crazy. I get that somebody did it. Like I totally understand why somebody did it. I think it's crazy that somebody offered that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that is a bad story to have on Saban's kind
Mhm.
of like track record of things that were happening. Because
Yeah.
he was at least with the pilot, and at least with that first season, he was really involved with the first season of Power Rangers. After
Yeah.
that, I don't think anyone ever met with him again other than Jason David Frank.
Mhm.
Because we even hear stories like Karen talking to Saban, and he had no idea who she was. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I've heard
I
that
haven't
story before. Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't seen that.
So that gives you like starting with Johnny,
Mhm.
Steve, and Karen. That
Yeah.
was just it was already machined by that point. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's insane to me. I thought she told her story well. I
Mhm.
don't think it really changed anything. I do think she regrets, not being on the show.
Yeah.
Um, because regardless of how it ended up for all six of them, all six of the
Mhm.
originals, it made them relevant. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Right.
it immortalizes them, all of them, whether you like them or not. They're immortal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those faces are on those characters. Those
Yeah.
actors'
So
faces on those
I know
characters.
everyone has their opinions of the original Rangers now, like all of them, really. Everyone has an
Mhm.
opinion on every one of them, except maybe Twee. But like, you know, that they're always going to be that. Come on, they're going to do a new remastered season with the original show, so there's going to be re-exposed
Yeah.
to a whole new generation of kids.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's just crazy. I think I seen I feel like I've seen like maybe a panel online or something where she's talking. You can tell there's a lot of regret there, but
Yeah.
one thing that I did not appreciate for the documentary because I felt like they were just trolling when they was bringing up the whole Yellow Ranger, Black Ranger thing.
Yeah. That's, like that's one thing that a lot of people that's the thing that's been popping around a lot lately I've seen in
Mhm.
articles.
Well, I wrote an article on it too,
Mhm.
but I guess I wrote a image, like a news image. But what I
Yeah.
put in my image was Walter's response to it. So
Mhm.
Walter's response to like what basically Walter said, and I'm eating one of the Gozyuger candies they gave me. I'm sorry, guys.
Ah.
I think my mouth was like super dry. So, yes, I got the Gojuja toys. Really low view count. So if you haven't seen them, go watch them. But he basically said like, why are we still talking about this? Like, this is. He basically said he wanted to be the. He said this many times. He wanted to be the Black Ranger. Like, it
Mhm.
was never a thing for him. Like, yeah, he noticed it, but he thought it was cool. Like, he thought it was like I'm black and the Black Ranger. Like, that's
Mm.
he took it as a sense of pride. So when people like, we saw articles like on what was it IGN, Entertainment Weekly,
Mhm.
TMZ and stuff like that, and the way that they were
Yeah.
spinning it, I feel like for the fandom's over it, right? It's people
Mhm.
outside the fandom, maybe even less than casuals that are like,
Mhm.
you know, are still talking about this, which
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was whatever. The thing is, I would really wonder what Twee thought about it, because I think that's one side of the story we've never really
We'll never
heard.
hear. We'll never hear. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious about that. But speaking of Twee, we got
Mhm.
the definitive reason Twee was fired, and was
Right.
basically for standing up for herself.
Mhm.
Um, More so than just like the renegotiations. What did you think about what would you think about with the whole Twee segment as far as everything, like, how she got hurt all the time to
It
uh
explains a lot because 'cause I've seen that clip of her saying that she hurt herself the other day.
mhm,
That's been floating around on YouTube for a while. But hearing that she went up to, like, a stage with, like, Rupert Murdoch, Saban, and stuff like that, like, the head of honchos and saying, "Maybe you should pay us more," and stuff like that, and they took that as, like, a slight, and one thing they did
right,
say, "You don't mess with Heinz Saban," which one thing I'm glad they did like, I'm glad one thing they did do in this documentary is they didn't paint Heinz Saban as, like, the genius that people, like, say he is for
right,
creating Power Rangers. Like, it was meant to show, like, yeah, he was a very, like, kind of like, made some bad decisions, slimy decisions, you could say,
yeah.
with how he ran things, and it didn't paint him in a good light, which was good in a way. But yeah, her
I
standing up for
I agree. I
Fox
mean,
and
they've always kind of made like I've seen other like he's the genius, right? Like he's the one
mhm,
about, and yes, like he did a lot of things. Like
yeah.
he brought Power Rangers to us, but like he did not treat these people good. Like
No, he did not.
he and there's a lot of reports of it. I've talked to I think when I start hearing different stories is in space and after from the actors,
Mhm.
because they didn't really associate with Saban a lot after that, so they don't know. Like, and then in space and after was all unionized after that, or at least until they moved into New Zealand, right? And so
I didn't know that. I thought Power Rangers had been non-union for the longest time.
no, they went Union and Turbo. That's what, and I verified with Tracy on that because I thought they were non-union the entire time, but they were union when until they moved to New Zealand.
Okay.
So, but yeah, and then once and always was union too. So,
That's so they could bring David back as
well,
well.
yeah, at David and Walt, that was
Mhm.
Walter's big thing was the union. And I've talked to
Yeah.
him. Okay, I talked to him behind the scenes. And one of his big things was it wasn't unionized, and he was a SAG actor. And
Mhm.
not only that, because like just the safety aspect of it as well on the show that people weren't really, or the production wasn't really adhering to whatsoever. So kind of sad about the the car crash. We saw Angela
Yeah.
Rockwood, her friend, who's
Mhm.
here as of today. It looks like she has regained some movement in her arms, but she's
Mhm.
for the most part still paralyzed. Um, Kind of more graphic story that we've heard of her death until
Yeah.
recently. So basically, what we heard is she didn't have her seatbelt on,
Mhm.
and she was thrown out the car and died instantly. So kind of,
Mhm.
if any of you ever been in a wreck or seen a wreck, you kind of get an idea of what that was like. But it
Mhm.
was pretty intense, man. But then they moved to the real dark side of Power Rangers,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and we got this guy, Ricardo Medina Jr.
Ricardo. Yeah.
What'd you think about that whole? It was definitely a different aspect that I've heard.
I like the build-up that they did. I really like the build-up saying like, "Oh, he worked on Power Rangers and after Power Rangers,
Mhm.
he met that girl and then lived on a ranch," and that slowly built up to the date when the incident happened. And I really like that narrative that they did, like, it slowly built up.
Mm-hmm. They really. So we've never. I don't think we've ever heard this side of the story. I think what's important for a documentary is to tell both sides of the story, and they didn't really tell his side of the story, like even through documents or anything that they had, right? So
Mhm.
they just said he claimed self-defense. So I feel like it should have been. Maybe it's because they got the girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it should have probably been more evenly talking about. But of course, I've never really heard the girlfriend side of the story, so that was all new to me.
Yeah,
Um,
same here.
Especially as like he was already being aggressive and
Mhm.
already angry and kind of some of the interviews that we saw, like that definitely gives me more an idea. But I don't think they presented the other side. They went very Dr. Drew. So once they told this story, they
Right.
were like, okay, well, he's a narcissistic, bipolar,
Mhm.
whatever. I don't think they call him bipolar, but they were saying like, he had a rough childhood, so and then
Mhm.
you have a rough kid and you teach him karate, and instead of
Mhm.
teaching him discipline, you teach him to be meaner. And I was just
Mhm.
like, I guess, like, I don't know. I don't know if that applies to everyone like that, but I don't know. It was interesting. We did they didn't shy away. They showed a lot of footage of him in jail, which
Mhm.
was accurate though. But one thing I kind of added was that there was talk of after he got out, you know they weren't going to do his action figure. Remember, they weren't going to, or give
Oh,
him a
no, I
head sculpt.
remember that. I remember that, like, that action figure leaked a while ago, and it never happened.
Yeah, and then I had heard rumblings that he may like try to do some cons or some not cons but appearances because like
Oh,
all of
okay.
Wild Force was doing not Wild Force, yeah, Wild Force.
Yeah,
The entire team does appearances, even the Princess Shayla, right? Or I think that's her name. She
yeah.
does it. She does appearances also. So, and I
Mhm.
know a lot of them are still friends. I know like what's the guy that played Danny?
Jack Guzman, because 'cause I'm looking
Yeah,
at Ranger stuff now.
he's good friends with him still.
Mhm.
But what I heard was that I don't know if it's I don't know who individually, but some of the cast doesn't want to be seen with him in public, and that he knows that, and he's like he respects that. Is what I heard. So take that as you will, but I think after this documentary, he's probably not going to do any appearances for the next couple of years. Again, probably just stayed to the win. You know, I think before the documentary there was probably talk of it happening maybe soon or fairly soon, but
Mhm.
I don't think it's happening anymore. They really glazed over Pua, like really, really
Yeah,
glazed over that. This guy,
yeah.
I want to preface this guy. This is a horrible person.
Oh, yeah.
This is not a good person. This is I think there's a lot of the fandom that don't know the whole story, and I still don't know the whole
Mm.
story because the documentary talked about it for like 90 seconds. But
I know.
this is one of the darkest stories in Power Rangers,
Mhm.
and they're just like, oh yeah, he beat his wife sometimes. Like, I was way more than that. Like, he terrorized his wife. He made her live in fear, so much so that when he died, she was still trying to protect him because she was still scared of him. I mean,
Mm.
that gives you an idea of this guy. But I mean, I guess what did you think about their take on Pua?
I feel like they should have done more with it because, like,
Yeah,
I had heard stories. I had heard from some people who worked on Power Rangers, and like there was like a lot more behind that story. And like
yeah,
I think someone did tell me that like the fandom isn't ready for that side of the story, or like there's more to it than him just taking his own life. So yeah, like he had some demons, and I feel like they kind of brushed over that because I feel like they could have done a more of a segment on him.
right. I think that's where this they left out the darkest story. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, you said you've heard some things, but you know, I just heard what was reported. So basically, he had been terrorizing, like beating her within like the inch of her life, like often, and he had
No,
been
I think
arrested
I've
many
heard the same
times.
things as well.
Bloody, bruised, like bad, bad,
Yeah.
bad. This last time was really, really bad. My understanding, I don't think he felt guilty. I think he was upset that he was gonna get in trouble and he was gonna get out this
Mhm.
time because they've been able to like kind of keep it under wraps until then.
Mhm.
Because in New Zealand, he was acting a lot over there in New Zealand. For those that don't know in the chat, like he was in a soap opera there. Like he was consistently on TV in New
Mhm.
Zealand. So this was gonna really ruin him. And then when that last time after he beat her so bad, and then they were going to there was something legally that they were going to do. There was going to be a restraining order or something was going to go public in some way. But that's the reason he took his own life was because
Mhm.
it was going to come out in a really public way. And even after he died, like I said earlier, like his wife was still trying to protect him, like protect his
Mhm.
name, and was trying. And how she did that was she was trying to seal the court cases so
Oh, okay.
the information didn't come out. So that's how she was trying to do it,
Mhm.
and keep that stuff confidential. But I think the court did rule against it, and that's how that information came out. Because when he died,
Mhm.
everyone was just like, "Oh my god, rest in peace, Pua!" Like everybody was
Mhm.
like that, right? Because we didn't know
We don't know what happened.
the extent of it, and then we found out the extent of it. This is this is one of the few times that this guy will ever be on my channel because I will never talk about this guy positively. This dude was a bad person.
Yeah.
There's
No,
no way
absolutely.
you can change my mind on it. So, um, one big thing they brought up in Dark Side was Eric Frank, and they finally said for sure the way that he passed,
Mhm.
uh, and he hung himself too. What
Yeah.
did you think about what did you think about that? What did you think about hearing all that for the first time?
Heavy.
Yeah,
It's always been like if you go to the Power Rangers wiki or something like that, it's always been a unknown illness for the longest time. That's what they listed
right.
it as
Or
for the
I
longest
feel like
time.
they alluded to possibly drugs for a while, like an overdose.
Mhm.
But they still never said it. But yeah, I mean, I think I became like a really big fan. Like I start or not say that. I was always a big fan, but like I became more in the fandom like in 2018, 2017.
Mhm.
So I didn't know a lot. I'm new to a lot of these stories sometimes, but um is this something like you knew for a long time or
Um,
what did you hear for the longest? Like you said the sickness, right?
yeah, the sickness, because that's what's on the wiki and stuff like that. I think
Oh, that's on
even
Wiki?
it was on the wiki, Power Rangers wiki for Eric
Okay, yeah,
Frank,
yeah.
I believe. And I think when the Illuminati wrote an article on how Eric was meant to be the Gold Ranger,
Right.
I think that's what they listed in there as well. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. It's been a while. I haven't read that article in a bit. Um, but yeah, that was like, is that like how they like? build towards, like, they talk about Eric's history, how he got into acting and stuff like that. And yeah, it's heavy stuff.
I think what happened was, you know how Jason's panels used to be very, like, he would talk about anything and he wouldn't hold back. I feel like that's where the information came from. Like, I feel like I've heard it. And I feel like I've heard the line that he was trying Eric, when they told Eric like it's time to be the Gold Ranger, he's like, okay, well, you're giving me as much money as everybody else, if not more, right? And I think that's the way it was, basically over money. And so they approached him about it, and he was like, okay, well, you're gonna pay me this much, and they're like, no, we're not. You know, like that's I feel like that's what I heard. And then they were already talking to, because if you go listen to Austin St. John of how they offered him the Gold Ranger, it was very like they just thought of it, sort of like when they were because he was going to do the movie for Turbo, right? So he says they were finishing up the contract for Turbo. Like, he had met with them, he was going to sign the contract, and then they said, hey, did you want to like do this run on the show? And he was like, okay, tell me about it. And they told him about it, and like it sounded like very like this wasn't the plan to offer him, like it was just like an idea that sprung up on them because he was already there. So it kind of tracks a little bit with Eric was supposed to be the Gold Ranger, but they were already having issues with him and being money, so they were like, well, we know Austin wants to come back, so let's just get Austin. Honestly, like, as a fan perspective, it would have been cool to see the brothers be Rangers.
Yeah.
But Jason coming back as the Gold Ranger was really, really cool. I mean, I thought.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I guess, what do you think? I mean, do you think it was probably money related, or what do you think it was? Or, I mean, just kind of thinking about knowing our history of Power Rangers, why would they pass on Eric on being the Gold Ranger?
I've heard money. I've heard that his acting skills wasn't the best. Like, he wasn't like the best on camera.
Okay.
Like, I think in that Illuminati article, JDF also mentioned that he preferred to be like hands-on set rather than acting. Don't quote me on that. I can try and find the article from back in the day if they still have it up.
I feel okay. And I do want to talk about this real quick because I think there's a lot of misconceptions. And since we're talking about Gold Ranger, that Brad Hawkins was supposed to be the Gold Ranger, and he was never supposed to be the Gold Ranger. So
no,
what he told me, and I know he's the voice of Trey, right? Trey Triforce, and he's the voice of the triplets, because the triplets' actual voice is like
accents.
Is the Brooklyn accent? Hey, what you doing, man? Like, it's just really, it's like the alpha. Yeah, it's like the alpha, right? So he does the voice, but it's funny because I was talking to him about that, and he said he was doing ADR for VR Troopers, and they came to him and they're like, hey, can you just like do a couple lines for this real quick? And he was like, okay. And then it turned into a whole thing, and he kind of wished he just didn't say okay, because they didn't pay him extra for those ADR lines for Trey for you. So it was like, you're already there. So, and he was like, he was supposed to be the White Ranger, but he was never supposed to be the Gold Ranger. So
I found the article, posted in the private chat.
Okay. Let me see if I find it. Okay, let's see. All right, let me pull that up and present it. It's gonna make us really, really small because it doesn't let me edit our windows in this version. Okay, so it says, all right. Eric Frank originally got the Gold Ranger exclusive. Let's see. The seeds of Daredevil's character actually took place in Mighty Morphin Alien Ranger when Tommy went on to Zeo Quest and was given half of an arrowhead to be a spirit guide. I do feel like that wasn't the payoff. Like, there wasn't a payoff that we got. Like, there was a real big setup, right? Eric worked as a grip behind the scenes. Oh, see, that makes more sense with the pictures. I didn't know that. Who at the time worked on the show as a gaffer. His brother was one that landed him the job. See, Jason says, see, my brother worked on set. Did you see that picture of him working on set with the grip tape and all that? I got him that job working behind the scenes. He worked with Dennis Bishop. He was a grip. Okay. What's this? That was someone, Eric, in a larger row. Like, letting the Falcon come to me. You'd have proven yourself worthy. Oh, David Truart was the grandpa guy, right? No, David was him. Was Eric?
Brother. Yeah, David was Eric. Yeah.
Okay. You have the arrowhead. Tommy takes out his half. Okay. I always thought it was weird it like glowed and all that stuff, but that didn't like do anything else, right?
Yeah, not that I remember.
Maybe that's how the Gold Ranger was supposed to get his powers. That could be possible. Like it was part of a crystal.
Right.
Eric would pay his dues behind the camera. Let's see what it says here. They're talking about Brad Hawkins. Let's get your brother, see how he does. He was leading up to the Gold Ranger, and he noticed that. I mean, you would see the stories, and all of a sudden, why was Brad Hawkins the voice? And the next thing you know, they got Austin to do it. I think it was more of a Austin didn't take the role. It was more let's put him here and see what happens. If Austin turns down the role, I think that was more the case. Okay, so what they're saying at this time was that Eric was their backup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's interesting though. I feel like I've heard audio of him saying like it was money, but I could be wrong. Now I have to go find the audio after this ends. So, AJ seems cool. AJ seems cool in my opinion. Saying hello. What's up, one up? Okay, but yeah, I mean, it sounded like he viewed himself as unsuccessful. It sounds like there was mental health issues there with as well, and he hung himself as well. That's what I didn't know is that he hung
Yeah.
himself also.
Yeah, I didn't know that as well.
That was kind of that was hard to hear knowing everything that's happened since then. So then we get to Jason, man. Jason himself.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of time on Jason. So I guess I should preface before we start talking about Jason was when did I got this information last summer. So no, it was summer. Yeah, it was summer of 2024. I want to say maybe April or I had to look. So I got told in April that they were doing the documentary, right?
Yep.
And I got told that several people got interviewed. I tried to release the information in April, and I got a message to take it down.
Oh, okay.
So I took it down, and I think I re-released it in June, and I just said like, I feel like too many more people knew about that, but like the fandom didn't know. Like a lot of people like me knew, you know what I mean? Because it was being talked about like just like casually when I was like just being hanging around like so I was just like, how do these people know? And I was like, whatever. So I'm like, I'll release the information. No one told me to take it down, but I released information that the documentary is happening. I was told initially that it was going to be a Jason David Frank documentary, and then it sounds like it started off that way. Seeing how much time they spent on Jason David Frank, I think that was the plan, and I think they probably were a little bit short of an hour and a half that they wanted, so they brought in the other topics, especially like how quick they went through, like with Pua and Twee, and they didn't even cover David Yost. They didn't even cover.
Yeah, a lot of people say they should have covered David Yost.
They should have covered it. It's a dark story.
No, they absolutely should have.
And it's not. And I think that might also have to do like if you didn't notice, none of the original cast was on there. Walter.
No, they were not. Walter.
I take that back. None of the Mighty Morphin cast was on there. So
yeah.
It started with Nakia and after. So Nakia Zio. So Kat, Steve, Karen, none of the new the version 2 Rangers were there. Johnny wasn't there. Then David, Amy, Walter, and Austin weren't there. So obviously Austin wasn't going to do it because they covered his PPP, which I actually forgot about. We can talk about that too. But
that shell shocked me that they actually brought that up because I was not expecting it. Because it was so recent, like it was so it just came out of nowhere when they brought it up as well. Like I didn't, even though they brushed over it really quickly, it's just like I didn't think they would actually bring it up in the documentary. Right. If that makes any sense.
I guess I expected it because it went really viral, like with TMZ and
that is true.
When Amy Jo made her little comment about it, like I forget what she said. Oh, because there's something about like Renegade Red Ranger.
Yeah, that was the shirts. That was the shirts when she made that comment.
Oh yeah, that's right, just shirts. But then I mean, even his arrest made a lot of coverage and stuff like that. So. Yeah. But yeah, I wasn't surprised that they covered it. I thought they would have gone a little bit more into it, but they just kind of like it happened. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay. And it just kind of ended it like he got sentenced. Well, like what did he get sentenced to? Well, I guess those information is not public yet, but most of us that know some sort of how the legal system works, like if he's doing an appearance in June, he more than likely got probation. So,
Yeah.
and then being how much money he took, he's probably got probation for at least like 10 years. I think the most he can see, I know he can do 10 years at state level. I don't know if he can do more than 10 years at a federal level. I do have to look that up. So, it's possible he could do more than 10 years at a federal level. But I think most of it is probably wrapped about him paying back the money. So, it's probably a lot contingent on the restitution part of it for sure. But that's just me guessing. But they didn't bring up the kid that everybody thought was the Red Ranger or thought was murdered the 2 or 3 people on the boat, which I thought they would have covered
I haven't
that.
heard that story before. I haven't heard that story before.
You haven't?
No.
Okay. So there was a child actor on the show. He was like, I can't remember which episode he was in. I think he was the one.
Was
Maybe
he the guy that played Richie or something like that? Because that might sound familiar.
I think I want to say it's the episode. I could be wrong. Let me know in the chat as well. But I feel like it's the episode where Tommy was eating a lot, maybe, and he was trying to like mentor this kid and about being healthy. And I can't remember, but he was in the show. He had maybe like 3 lines. But what happened was he grew up to be a drug addict. I think he did several commercials and stuff like that. He his girlfriend and I think a third person went to go meet a couple and their friend about purchasing a yacht. And when they got there, their intention was to rob them and steal the yacht, and they killed them. I want to say dismembered them and threw their parts overboard. And they got caught. But when it hit the news cycle, it said former Power Ranger gets arrested for murder.
Okay, parts of that actor might actually part of that story might actually make sense. Because I think I've heard.
Yeah,
That.
so I think I'll get this a lot on my comments a lot. Or like, didn't the Red Ranger murder like a couple or something like that? And they're like, I have other people come in. Well, Ricardo Medina, like, and then or like this one's in jail or this one, all this stuff, but or this one got arrested. So there's a lot of I feel there's a lot of confusion on that in general. But I'm surprised I didn't cover that too because that was like a really big media case, because of how gruesome it was and like there's like a whole like if you go on Wikipedia, like the real Wikipedia, there is like a whole breakdown of the murders, the trial, and everything. So I was really surprised that they did. But then again, he wasn't a ranger. I kind of wish they would have brought that up just to clear it up that he wasn't a ranger.
Yeah, I found the Wikipedia article. I did some digging.
So yeah, we got a comment. They should have covered David Yost, what he went through, and how he left the show. I think that would have been important.
Oh, there's an episode of 48 Hours that covers this crime. I'll have to watch that.
It's heavy stuff, man. They didn't cover Samuel Benta. Samuel Benta is the one that they accused of stealing the banner, right?
Stole the banner, or allegedly stole the banner.
That's why I said accused. I was like,
yeah, accused.
Although there's been some information apparently that came out that he possibly didn't steal the banner. So
yeah. But then he made that video, then he took it down, and then I think he was at a Power Morphicon or a Ranger stop.
It was Morphicon. Yeah.
Morphicon, okay. Hector not being in there, I think that was too new when they were probably like recording all about when that went down because
it was before because they were filming in April. Yeah, they were filming in April and May, and the Hector stuff. I broke that news in July. I was one.
Yeah,
I was the one that broke. I still feel weird about breaking it, but I didn't know whether I should have broke it or not. But I was like, I put it out there. I was like, people can do without it. But
I thought about making a story on Hector, but I was like, he pushed an old man. Like, there's only one take to have on that. Like, you did a terrible thing.
I felt like me breaking the news was enough. I didn't think I needed to make a video. I know some people made videos on it. I didn't feel like it was necessary to make a video on it, just because I feel like I got the information out there effectively the way I did. So that's how I kind of view things. But yeah, I guess I could see why. I think that's time. I think they wanted to spend a lot of time on Jason, because what I was told, this was originally a Jason David Frank documentary. So that's why a lot of my things say it was a Jason David Frank, because it was. And there's still supposed to be another documentary that's being made possibly by Peacock. And
Okay.
I have not heard anything about that since I heard it was happening. I don't know if they've actually started on it. I don't know anything. So I just was told that it was happening. And the third one was the Tammy Frank one, which I didn't know was a crowdfund one.
Yeah, and
And
that only
she
made
launched
like $200.
yeah, until she launched, which was you couldn't even find the link for the crowdfund on that one. That was and it looked like it was gonna be good. The trailer for it was really good, but I think
I think
crowdfunding.
they were asking for too much
Not
for
only
that one.
that, but I think crowdfunding and Power Rangers fandom is just it's not
Over it.
working. The only reason I think the return of the was it the return worked was with Amy Jo was because we knew we were already getting it. We were
Yeah.
all trying to get extra stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
no,
like
yeah, that was gonna come out regardless,
exactly.
because that was already set. When they announced the Kickstarter, the solicitations were out already for February,
Right.
for that comic. It's just like you got the special stuff with it.
Yeah. And West fans just wanted the extra stuff because we're like
Oh, yeah, and I
that.
got the extra stuff, and I'm very
I
happy
got
with
it
it. I
too.
feel like
I
I
need to
still got
frame
more
the photo or not the photo, the banner. I need to frame that and put
banner. No, I need to do it as well. It's sitting in my room. I
it
need to
into
frame it or put it somewhere safe.
it's still in its box. I put it back in the box carefully. Where the box is, I don't know. It's somewhere. Guys, the office, so I cleaned up my office a lot. But there's a plan. But since we're doing San Diego, the studio, and I'm getting married this year, if I'm actually getting married,
Hey,
the studio is gonna hold off another year. But it's okay because we're using the money for good reasons. So Skylar DeLeon, yeah, that was the name of the kid. Must have watched too much Dexter. Dexter's a good show though. They also have
haven't seen
covered the
it.
stalking of the yellow and Space Ranger face. I have never heard about that. I
All
heard
right.
about you heard about it?
So this is like the story why is it Patricia Lee, who plays Cassie in
Mm.
Space Pink? There's a
Oh, she's talking about In
reason.
Space Pink. I thought she was talking
Yeah.
about PLC. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so the reason why she doesn't do cons anymore is apparently like this is from like Stelvin and Roger and stuff like that. Apparently like had a bad experience at a con, like apparently like a fan stalked her all over the place. So that's why she doesn't do cons and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I feel like I've heard the actual what they did, but I
I
can't
haven't heard
remember.
that part.
I would have to go through my notes. Yeah, it happened right after Ranger Stop. That was the Pink Ranger. Okay, they're clarifying.
Mhm.
Okay, they're doing Tracy did have a weird thing that happened. Where someone said in the audience, like, do you stay young for like do you eat babies to stay young or something like that? So
I
I heard that.
think I might have seen the clip for that.
Yeah. Uh Tracy Lynn does a ton of she does do a ton. She does a ton of appearances and
Oh
shows
yeah.
and stuff like that. Okay, so back to Jason. So I guess I felt this then now it becomes like what do I know versus what is known. I felt they covered more than I
Mhm.
thought they would cover for sure. Um like we've had the toxicology reports. We know that he was using
Mhm.
at the time of his death. He's like prescription using. I want to say there was possibly cocaine in it, if I
I think
remember
they did
correctly.
mention cocaine.
They did also cover the stalker or the guy that came to try to kill
Yeah.
him
Mhm.
at the what do you call the convention in Phoenix. They did
Mhm.
cover that. But they I want to say they they did a lot more of his childhood than I thought, or at least they alluded to it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So they alluded to like things that were going on in it. Tammy got a few words in
Mhm.
uh, of how, and Tammy's been on here before. We had a really extensive interview with Tammy, and
Okay.
she was on here, and she's talked about her, him having the affairs.
Mhm.
I feel like she may have, maybe she talked about that for maybe one of the first times was on our channel. So she's talked about that. I was surprised she said that on such a level, and I don't think it came off well. I don't know. What do you
Mm.
think?
I'll have to rewatch it. Like I said, I've only watched it once, and I had
Mhm,
to watch it on a phone with a VPN.
mhm.
But I'm definitely going to give it a rewatch and revisit it when it comes to Australian Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I was surprised that they didn't talk to Jenna, or at least they didn't
as
put
well.
a Jenna part because I feel like I heard her voice
Yeah.
at the beginning when they were
Mhm.
doing like just kind of like what's
But
coming up in the documentary. I feel like there was like her crying. I feel like I heard her, but I didn't hear it for the rest of the episode. So I was like expecting Jenna, but yeah, I was really kind of surprised the way they went about it, and they went about
mm,
it from like an addictive kind of personality of it,
yeah,
which
yeah.
which I get because at the end, a lot of people noticed like he was acting a lot different, like in those last
Oh,
couple of
yeah.
months.
Yep.
You know, and his demeanor and his face always looked tired and
Mhm.
everything. But I
That
know,
one clip from Palmorphicon.
right? I, I think it gave us more confirmation that like a lot of his depression was about losing his brother.
Yeah.
So like it sounded like he was like a manic depressive person.
Mhm.
Um, and when I say that is because like he'll go in and out instantly. Like
Yeah.
he has severe like mood swings, which I you know it really humanizes him. I don't think it's gonna change anything for his legacy or anything like that.
No, absolutely not.
I guess well, I don't know. What do you think about everything they said? Because I feel like they said a lot. Because most of the documentary was about him.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I don't think it's going to change anything about his like legacy. Like,
Right.
whether he was on subscription medicine or cocaine, that doesn't change anything for me, or like even the affairs and stuff like that. Because I've only met JDF once in my entire life.
Right.
Everything else I see is like online or through posts and stuff like that. Um, so I've only met him once in my life. I can't say like I know the guy or anything like that. Um,
Really curious what
but
Patrick thinks about the documentary.
oh yeah, yeah, I'd love to hear Patrick's thoughts on it.
Yeah, I would too. I just,
But
you know, and I feel like they really did a really condensed version of the last night too, which
oh
is
yeah, no,
I feel like they left
absolutely.
out a lot, like a lot. So for people
Mhm.
watching it for the first time, I don't know if they get. I think this is my issue with the documentary. Like, I don't know if they got the full story of everything that is actually out there for public to know easily, right?
Mhm.
That has been covered in articles and whether it's Ricardo Medina Jr. or Jason David Frank or
Mhm.
Pua, right? Like they're covered extensively and pretty well
Yeah,
too. And I just don't feel the documentary like finished in a lot of those. That's why I made that video, like
right.
what happened after the documentary because they didn't cover a lot of the things. I feel like the fandom knows, right? And
No,
so
no.
I don't know. I just like it was good, and I feel like the
Mhm.
documentary was put together very well, and it flowed
Yeah.
very, very well. Like
Oh, yeah,
it kept me
absolutely.
engaged, right? So much so that I canceled a dental appointment because I just watched it. I wanted to watch it. So, um, and I was like, I told my wife, I was like, I'm still like stuffy from when I was sick, and I really wasn't. I just wanted to finish the documentary because I had to go to a meeting later that day. So it was like needed. I just wanted to finish it, and so I was. I just don't feel like it conveyed all the story
Mhm.
to everything because they constantly had to move on to the next topic and
Yep.
they were rushing to get to Jason. You know what I mean?
No,
So
yeah, because they spent, like, 30 minutes on, like, the like that's why when
history.
going into this documentary, I was not expecting a lot from it. Like, it was well
Yeah.
put together.
Yeah.
It went over a fair bit of
It's
information.
a good watch. I
Um,
will say it's a good
yeah,
watch. It's an entertaining watch. It just doesn't have everything that is out there.
yeah, and if you're a hardcore Power Rangers fan, then, like, none of this stuff was gonna be new to you
Right.
unless you didn't know about some of it. You're not in the like, you're not on the pulse of everything.
Right.
But, uh, be right back. I gotta go to the toilet. Let me hold that thought. I'll be right back.
Okay. So one thing I would say the Jeff Pruitt part was weird. That was a weird part of it. I don't know how to I don't know I don't even know how to address that because it was just like I almost wonder like they found someone for production. They had something to, they were able to say something about it. So we got Patrick here. Were your ears burning? Because we were just saying we were wondering what you were thinking about the documentary. So yeah, I'm curious what you think about it. In fact, so much so, I will send you a link because I'm curious what you're thinking about it. So actually, I'm trying to think. Yeah, let me message it to you. I have to message you. Doing this live. There you are. I just in case you don't feel pressured to jump on or anything like that, but I just want to send it to you, offer the invitation, Patrick, because I am curious what you think about that. So But yeah, I said if you watch the documentary, it could have been better, but it was still good. I do think it was still entertaining. I was telling Deox before we went on that I went to work today, and it came up at work, and
Yeah, you were telling me that.
they don't know anything about like at work, like my Power Ranger love. So it came up very naturally, and I was like, that's how many people are watching this documentary. So
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I
that's
think
what I was
that's good for at least. I know it's the dark side of Power Rangers, but
gonna.
at least for brand wise, it's good for like putting it out
And
there. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's what I was getting at earlier, saying like us hardcore fans know about a lot of this stuff, but if you're
right,
new, you're scrolling HBO Max, watching this documentary series week to week, and you only watched Mighty Morphin or you fell off Power Rangers after Mighty Morphin,
right,
then a lot of this stuff would be shocking to you,
right.
like big news.
Yeah, I think it was, and it was probably why a lot of those stories hit Entertainment Weekly. I think the one that the stories I didn't know about was the Putty story
Yeah,
and Twee talking to a group of executives. I
yep,
have
that one I
never
didn't
heard
know.
those two
I've
stories.
never heard those stories as well.
So, and which is surprising because I feel like we've heard every Mighty Morphin story there's be told,
Mhm.
because at least, between all the interviews that David Yost, Walter, Austin, Jason, all of them that they've done, even Amy Jo does them every now and then. Like
Yeah.
they bring up everything all the time. What I do have to say is a lot of the stories are pretty consistent over the
Mhm.
years. Like maybe little details here get embellished, less embellished, whatever. But like the
Yep.
meat of the story always stays the same. And I'm really surprised. And maybe it's because of like Twee's, we don't want to talk about Twee because maybe it could paint her in a bad light because she went up there and basically told them like screw y'all. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why it hasn't been brought up. But I'm kind
Mhm.
of surprised. I didn't realize. I always thought Tony Oliver was part of like more of the voice acting than it was him being like actually making the show. So that was kind of
Well,
news to
yeah, I
me
think
as
I've known
well.
about that for a while.
I didn't know that. Even as I've met the guy like 4 times and
Mm.
at different cons, and stuff like that. So I was surprised about that. But yeah, I mean, as far as the documentary and everything, I think like Ash said, a lot of the things, um, if you're hardcore in the fandom, you knew about. It
Mhm.
was just kind of, and I think it was also kind of novelty to see something like Power Rangers again on a big stage like that because there was a
Yeah.
lot. How often do we have Entertainment Weekly covering Power Rangers
Mhm.
when something Mighty Morphin's not happening? You know what I mean? So I think the last time was Cosmic Fury when David Yost came back, which was
Yeah.
well, did they have the exclusive? I can't remember. Was it Entertainment Weekly
I
that
think
had
they
it?
had the exclusive,
I think they did.
if I remember correctly.
I remember I was a brand new dad and my daughter started throwing up for the very first time and I was freaking out. And I was seeing David Yost on my screen, very confused. That was a weird day. But we're coming towards the end of our stream, guys. We do have one more giveaway. And this is like Operation Help Me Clean My Room. And this is one is a good one. So this is a lightning collection. Let me actually put up
Oh,
the banner.
nice.
Uh let me get back here. I should have been more. Okay, I'm gonna do that. And then we'll reveal what it is and we'll do last time. I did invite Patrick up, but I told him he's not required to come up because obviously he does what he
Mhm.
wants. But because I was curious, he did drop in the chat, so I was curious. All right, guys. So I'll tell you guys the banner so you guys can start inputting it. So the code you have to put is #red, and it's drawing already. But what you could win in Operation Clean My Room is the gender swap yellow and red Ranger, the most accurate Red Ranger helmet they ever released in the Lightning Collection until the remastered. So if you need an accurate Red Ranger helmet, it's right there. So comes with Jason in his yellow Ranger form, or you can make it into Sentai, into Boy,
Yeah.
into was it Saber Ranger? Yeah,
Uh,
Saber Ranger.
Tiger Ranger.
Tiger Ranger. You're right, Tiger Ranger. And then you can have a female Trini as a Red Ranger, or if you want to mod this into Grace from
Oh,
Power
yeah.
Rangers, you can do that as
Do
well.
that.
So feel free to put red in the comment. We'll draw. Oh, or it seems like way more people are entering. So I guess you guys want Lightning Collection stuff. Well, guess what? You're cleaning out. You're cleaning out my room. So I was gonna do more cons this year, and I decided not to do more cons because I'm tired. And this is what's gonna happen. We need to get back to this on the stream is do the giveaways. Honestly, dudes, I wish I could show you my rec because I just have so much stuff. I actually have, I'll be honest, guys, I have 2 more Master Morphers to give away. I have 2 more regular Morphers. I have a Dragon Zord.
Mm-hmm.
I have a White Ranger helmet.
Mm-hmm.
The White Ranger helmet is gonna be a special occasion though.
Nice.
And then I have a bunch of figures, a lot of figures. So
Angel Grove Collectibles is where I get all my Power Ranger stuff, and they've got like a bunch of legacy stuff up for sale.
oh really?
But I'm not paying. Yeah, but I'm not paying how much they're offering.
I
'Cause,
found a
like,
White Ranger for like $19.99 for.
Yeah, but they're selling them like for collectible prices. So it's like 500 for a legacy Saber or 450 for a legacy White Tiger Zord. Which
Oh, I got you. I got you.
no, thank you.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah,
Although I would
yeah.
love to have one. I started collecting when Legacy died. So
I did as well. So the last things I bought that was legacy was the Green and White Ranger Power Morpher that I've still got,
me too.
and I've got the Bandai Legacy Ninja Megazord,
Ooh,
which
nice.
they're still sealed.
I got the and I feel so stupid about this because I remember the morphers were regularly $50,
Mhm.
like everywhere. And I got the green and white. I got the dagger. I wish I had tried to get the Saba on clearance, and I missed it. It was gonna be like $50, and I missed it. But I haven't been able to get it since then. But I wish I would have got more legacy morphers because I had the money. I thought I could get it cheaper, and now to see them, it's like $400, $300 for a morpher.
Well, Lightning Collection stuff for Tommy's probably going to go up as well.
It has a little bit. I think they're hitting, like I think Red Zeo is like a 30.
30.
White.
Okay.
The Spectrums are still really selling really well, which I got the Spectrum somewhere. Oh, there's one way up top. I have to do like this. You can see it right up there in the case. I don't know how to do this like that. Okay. Right there. So yeah, see. So and then I think you can see it's all hidden. I was gonna say if you can see the Jason David Frank sign morpher, it's behind me too. And I have a Draken sign, which is ironic because I released that audio that he hated Draken. So but I didn't know that when I got it signed. But which I think is fair. It's all right. All right, guys. So we got 14 entries. Pretty good. 29 people in the chat. So we'll go ahead. If you guys want, you got a couple more seconds to enter. #red. Now, guys, remember for everyone that's won today, make sure to message me on Instagram. Do not message me on Facebook. I do not see those, and I don't check them. And I get so many like scams from like people like trying to scam me on Facebook, so I just don't even look at it anymore. And then, or you can email me at thelegacyinert@gmail.com, or you can find my website as well. But yeah, we're gonna pull this. But yeah, I was gonna say if you won, it's Easter weekend, so like give me like a week or two to ship. I promise I'll always ship. I do it when I have time to go to the post office. So all right. The winner is in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I really hope there's no. To be fair, if there's a double winner, I don't think that's fair. Freaking Dan entered the fan club. Roadhog. Okay, Roadhog is literally the first person that ever wanted to give away from me. Again, he wins because he's here. He shows up regularly. So that's the last giveaway tonight. I don't know. So you know how I do the Jason David Frank tribute show every year?
Yeah.
Do you think I should do one this year, or I should just do something different?
Like, if you want to do one,
I don't know if it's. I don't know if it feels like we're dwelling at this point. You know what I mean? Like just to be, and I'm just talking randomly, but like, I don't want to dwell on it. But maybe I just make it a celebration, but like talk about other things than just, you know, to bring everyone down. Because I feel like it brings everyone down a little bit, you know?
Well, you've got till November, so
True.
see how you feel.
We'll see how I feel. I do need to give away at least one Master Morpher. But it needs to be for a big reason. Maybe when I hit 10,000, I'll do a giveaway. I'm getting really close, guys. If you're not following me on Facebook on YouTube, I'm like at 95 something. So like, please feel
Nice.
free, get me close. I'm not cool like Deoxy where he has like 23,000 people already subscribed to him on YouTube. YouTube's my
Yeah.
slowest number right now, so I'm not YouTube cool like everyone else. I'm Facebook cool, sort
I
of.
mean, I think I've fallen off YouTube cool with how some of my videos are performing, but yeah.
Dude, it doesn't matter, man. I feel like until you get to like probably even I see 100,000 people with 100,000 subscribers. I think as long as you're kind of floating around the 10%, you're probably good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't want to be like 100,000 subscriber YouTube
Oh,
channel
same,
that
man.
that does 2,000 views on every video. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
that would be like concerning to me. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
yeah.
where's the other 98,000 people? You know, so even though like most of my views are around from 1 to 4,000, that's like
Mhm.
10 to 40% of my subscribers
Yeah, no,
consistently. So it's
absolutely.
I think that's good. And yours is, especially when you cover like the Power Ranger comic books, like yours is way
Oh,
up
yeah.
every single time.
They're my bread and butter. They've been
Yeah.
my bread and butter since, like, forever.
What I'm trying to do right now, and a lot of you guys have noticed, is I'm trying to break the algorithm, and it's hard.
Mhm,
It's really hard, and it's a lot of losses. But I think we're finally getting there a little bit. So, like, if you guys follow me on everywhere else, you guys know, especially like on Instagram and Facebook, like I cover everything. Like I cover
mm,
Marvel, DC, I cover Star Wars. I was just posting Star Wars before we jumped on. Um, I I'm trying to do that on YouTube as well, but the base of YouTube is mostly still a Power Rangers audience. But
mhm,
we've been covering Marvel and DC. We've done some of those videos, and they haven't tanked. So it's like even I feel like my last Marvel one did like around 600. I'm happy with that because I thought it was gonna do 50 because the algorithm was gonna fight me on it. So
mm.
even the DC one, I got like maybe 1,000, which I was completely happy about because I thought I was gonna only get 50 views. So the Pokemon cards did horrible, but I'm still gonna do it because I'm having fun with it. So, but
Mm.
I don't know what's going up for you. Let me give you the floor, Deoxy. What's coming up for
What's
you?
going on with me? I'm in this one. Let me angle myself better. So I'm in center. So right now I am just covering Power Rangers and stuff like that. I'm covering the Massiverse stuff written by Kyle Higgins and Ryan Parrott. They're also doing Kyle's doing a Batman comic that was announced last weekend, which I'm definitely looking forward to. The Toku Batman. So I'm just covering Gozyuger. I'm covering Go Go Loser Ranger. Power Ranger comics, they're coming out once a month, but come June, July, June, May, we'll actually have 2 comics coming out with the VR Troopers. So there'll be more comics for me to cover and stuff like that later down the line. So just putting out whatever I feel like these days as well, just playing around with whatever I feel like talking about.
That's awesome. I did the image for the news image for the Tokusatsu Batman. Well, I put the headline like Batman's
Yeah.
Power, like just to get attention, right, to it.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
what I have the
but
title, get
like
attention.
it got a lot of good reactions to it. Like people like the concept. And the art looks really good. The Nightwing and the
Oh,
Robin art too looked really good from Dan Mora.
it's got a good team behind it, like Matt Groom, Kyle
Yeah.
Higgins, Dan Mora. It's got an all-star cast behind it.
Anytime you have
'Cause they
Dan
know.
Mora, it's just like awesome.
Mhm.
So Dan Mora can
Yeah,
only help you. I think
yeah.
Pokemon is bad. Try Yu-Gi-Oh. Is Legend of the White Dragon ever really coming? I say no. I think it will. I think it will. I
Mm,
think I think there's too much to not come out. So and it's not to be like I've seen more of the movie than what's been released, and I think you
mhm,
guys would be happy with it. And I think as Power Ranger fans, you're gonna be more surprised to see like how dark it really goes. That's what I can say is like it takes it way further. Like
mhm.
not like Adi Shankar sort of thing, but more like
That came out 10 years ago.
yeah, but more like just like a really adult grown up not retelling, but like a
Mhm.
version of it because it's not Power Rangers, right? So, but it's very like when you see more of it, like, and there's another, I can't say that. When you see more of it, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's very Power Rangers Tokusatsu sort of thing. So you'll see. I almost said something really, but I would have gotten in trouble for that, like a lot. I would have gotten yeah. I'll probably yeah put him in bad. So, all right, guys. I think that's it for tonight. I appreciate you guys all showing up. I do not know when I'm streaming next. I never know. I never know when my next video is going to come out. I do them all on a whim. I have no schedule. I have no discipline with this, but I can't promise you that I will be posting every update for every other thing on Instagram, on Facebook. So make sure you're following me on Instagram and Facebook, because if there's a fandom that's not Power Rangers that you like, I cover it. I cover Marvel, DC, Star Wars, cover horror sometimes. I cover someone said TMNT. I cover TMNT when it comes up in the news.
Have you read the new TMNT run in the comics?
I have not. I heard it's good though.
It is. It's written by Jason Aaron or Aaron Jason. It's really good, really good. Like it's sort of like a soft reboot.
I heard that. Yeah. Like it's a continuation of the old comic, right?
Old comics that had a 150 issue run, but this one you can jump in and read the first 4 issues, because each issue focuses on a different turtle, and you'll definitely enjoy it. Like what's going on right now, it's really good.
Oh, I need to check that out then. You got the recommendation from the comic guru himself. So, all right, guys, I appreciate y'all being here. As always, Aries, Brandon, Nick, Movie Freak, let's see, Daniel, thanks for being here. Roadhog, thank you for always being here. I appreciate you. Maddie, thank you for being here. Dion, good seeing you again, man. I haven't seen you in the comments lately. Appreciate you. Kaden, thank you for being here. We saw Wanda earlier. We got Matthew, thank you for being. I'll see you at Atlanta. I'll see everybody that's going to Atlanta. Until then, if I don't jump on. Dan, thanks for being here. Hope you had a fun night DJing.
Patrick as well.
Patrick was here as well. Thank you, Patrick. You didn't respond to my text, but that's cool. I get you. Kat, Robert, Josh, Jason, Josh's wife, Josh's grandma, Josh's whatever. Nerd affiliated. Thanks for being here. All right, guys. You guys have a good one. New video out sometime. Just always watch the channel and make sure you're following me on all the outlets. So, as always, we'll let our guest take us out. Do you know what time it is?
It's morphin' time.
Later, guys.